we are into Champion Select. Let's see how the bands go.
Misfortune is the #1 ban here. Captain Flowers right off the
Following
table.
that one up, it's going to be a Zier on the other side of
Oh
Champion
my
Select,
God.
Bobby. Oh my goodness gracious. I never imagined. Yes, I did. These champions are actually pretty common to see throughout the bans so far.
We have
80
the-
carries and mid laners. Who would have imagined? Mid laners banned against the mid laner. 80 carries versus the 80 carry.
All right, the Prime Trio has been banned out there with Lucian rounding it up for Bjergsen here, and Uzi forced to ban Syndra himself, even though it's blended his most played mid lane champions. And there we go, that's what everyone wanted to see, Zoe on display.
All right, let me harken back to what Proscurin said a grand 5 minutes ago. She thinks Uzi will leave Zoe open one time, Bjergsen will go crazy with it, and at that point forward, it will have a spot on Uzi's ban list. Now let's see what he thinks he can play into this, because he knows Zoe is available, and he will take that Kalista that Prey kept banning against him yesterday.
So here's one of the things with Kalista. Obviously, she has the earliest built-in dash in the entire game because you can get it with the auto attack and keep autoing and hopping backwards as Zoe runs at you with her summoner spells. So this is probably what he's looking for here. As the Zoe starts the charge, usually it will be a level 3 charge. Once she gets the extra point, puts it in their spell thieves, and then just tries to run at you and pick up your summoner spells as you drop them.
Now the one thing you also want to keep in mind, 2 offensive summoner spells from Uzi. Bjergsen, if Uzi uses those, can pick them up once he has Spell Thieves and continue to apply that extra pressure in the 1 versus 1. That's one of the adaptations.
Oh,
we
last
saw
minute
yesterday.
switch though.
Last minute switch. He's trying to trick him up a little
He's
bit.
got the heal now instead of the ignite. Give him a little bit more speed.
Gives him a little bit more speed, and it's something Bjergsen can't pick up to kill him with. We saw that be a mistake yesterday. One of the things that sort of hurt Uzi, one of the adaptations he made in between the first games and the last games of that match, he wanted to deny that ability to allow the extra all-in potential.
All right, now one thing I will say about this map specifically here, Howling Abyss, playing against Zoe, I can see why Uzi wants another chance of this. He had 2 victories yesterday, but also you can stay right in the middle of the map, so you're not close to the edges. That's where, if the bubble misses and hits a wall or something, it gets to take up a very big part of the map. And Howling Abyss is pretty straightforward. Don't stand next to the wall, and as long as you can use the minions as well, there are actually a lot of ways that you can dodge the Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble, we saw Prey miss it a couple of times in his all-ins against Uzi yesterday. Bjergsen, like you mentioned earlier, saying he's commanding a greater mastery of the champion than Prey was able to muster from what we saw.
Look at it right there.
ago.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Reaching into the portal. Oh, we didn't get to see what he found. I don't know if she actually has different things that come out of the portal like Caitlyn does with hats, but if she does,
Oh my
that's one
God.
of my favorite things to spam in the game.
We're in for another 20-minute hat talk with Happy
We ain't
Flower.
even going to have a 20-minute game, Kobe. This is 1 versus 1. This is fast-paced, high-octane League of Legends action.
That's true. Let's take a look at the paddle star. Gonna hit right there from Bjergsen. Predicting the hop from Uzi. A lot of this game, as far as 1v1 does go, comes down to predictions, right? And getting a handle on a couple of the ways that your opponent has a tendency to dodge really does bode well for Bjergsen. Now you can see he's focusing on the minions, trying to get the push going.
And he will find that level 2 in time. Uzi level 2 now as well. And for Bjergsen, normally you look at Zoe and you think, okay, she needs to hit the bubble, and then she can hit the paddle star, but Bjergsen has just been landing these pretty well so far. Gonna go ahead and use the bubble there as a zoning tool. Paddle star connects again. Uzi's got to be a little bit more careful about dodging away from these, Kobe. He's eating a few too many.
I mean, you can say be careful about dodging the bubbles, but the bubbles take up half of the map. I was saying, oh yeah, this map's better than Summoner's Rift for dodging the bubbles because you don't have to be in a small jungle corridor, but it still takes up about half of the corridor there, and you can see he couldn't walk back into it, so that allowed Bjergsen then to land his paddle star anyways, but you still want to dodge it because then you don't get hit with the bonus damage.
And you can see a little Zoe bubble there on the ground. It does contain Ghost. That's not something that Bjergsen can use immediately to great effect, considering Uzi is so close to the turret. You're not going to run him down in some sort of a long lane, some kind of a sprint situation. So
With the minion though.
how that continues to go here. Okay, a cleanse. Gonna just pick that one up, pop it to get the
So fresh and so clean now.
extra damage. Yep, always feeling good. Uzi continuing to farm up. He's feeling all right, too. 21 to 24 in the CS department, so very even farm between these two. So many times in these 1v1s, you see somebody play, you either play for farm or you play for push. And both these guys seem to be playing the farm game the same as Bjergsen, looking to go in now, able to find the Sleepy Trouble bubble. Paddle Star finds its way onto Uzi, who pops the heel.
Oh!
Nearly down. Barely walks away, but he has both summoner spells remaining.
Yeah, very close right there. Uzi almost able to get off and finish up Bjergsen, but now he is going to get the recall off, it looks like. So Bjergsen pushing the cannon minion wave into the turret.
Will Bjergsen go up and grab that heal, or will he get back right now?
I'm going to go with option number 2 because it's later, and I can see that he already chose that option.
I was going to say, you're cheating, and you're looking at the monitor that has the option anyway. You already know.
Meanwhile, he was able to perk up the extra 4 potions right there for Bjergsen, so he has a lot of sustain coming back to this matchup. Yes, Uzi is an AD carry, and he does have lifesteal on the double Dorans, but that doesn't mean as much as the constantly chugging potions that we'll see here. Bjergsen now trying to thin out the wave, see if he can look to gain control again.
And I mean, potions are such a big part of these 1v1s, right? It's like Papa Smithy said, this is laning. You are essentially just playing through an exaggerated laning phase that the jungler can't mess with. And you've got to respect the value of the potions in that. Bjergsen gonna go ahead, drop an Ignite that he picked up onto Uzi there. Battlestar trying to come back in, does manage to find him, utilizing the ulti. Nice job there on Bjergsen, giving himself that extra little bit of range, but Uzi still looks just fine, using his own potion to heal back up. But Bjergsen feeling a bit more comfortable now, has that extra reach with the ulti, but you have to remember, Zoe's ult doesn't really add a big oomph like most other champions.
Well, Kallista's ultimate has nobody.
Doesn't do anything on a
Nobody
one
to partner
versus one.
with.
She actually just can't do anything with it. Bjergsen finds the Sleepy Trouble bubble, can't get a Paddle Star in time, just goes for the auto attack. Remember, once somebody does go to sleep from the bubble, the next source of damage to hit them will wake them up from the CC, but will also deal double damage up to a cap. So you got to make sure you try to hit him while he's asleep if you can. 51 to 46 in the CS department. Bjergsen continuing to push up now, abuse the AoE on the Paddle Star.
Yeah, that's the #1 rule of most fights, actually. If they fall asleep while you're fighting them, get your hits in then.
Just hit them with something. It don't matter.
Regardless, though, we do have some rune information coming in now as well. And it does look like, you know, we're talking about the secondary choices. Bjergsen, once again, has gone for the biscuit delivery, as well as the futures market, where you go into debt, buy some more potions, and it gives you this amount of control that we're seeing here, where he has the extra sustain. Whereas Uzi has gone for the second wind, as well as the mirror shell this time around for the flat magic resist. You know, that's coming from the resolve tree, so gives you a bit of more sustain, but not quite as high of an impact as the extra potions.
Now you see, I think that's, Uzi's thinking in terms of Summoner's Rift, right? Because on Summoner's Rift, secondary resolve tree can be great if you're going into a lane like this and you think you're going to take some damage. Second wind's like a Dorian shield passive, mirror shell, it's extra MR. But this ain't Summoner's Rift, it's over when you get a kill.
Well, also, the resolve tree gains some value too the longer it goes, right? Because you went into debt to buy those extra potions, and you're constantly getting value out of your second wind, as well as the flat magic resist. So Uzi here farming up to level 7 now, and he has the Vamp Scepter, so sustain now. He's in a very comfortable spot. Plus, he has the extra tankiness. He's really been able to kind of work through the initial scary part, but now they're walking up with the redemption found from Bjergsen.
I always have to stop for just a second to be like, wait, hold on a second, because I see the redemption. I'm like, nobody's playing a support in this game. Nobody's rushing redemption in 1 versus 1.
That's true.
And then you remember Zoe's on the map, and anything is possible. Bjergsen's still farming these up. 70 to 62 in farm, but Uzi's got a nice HP advantage for now. Steps on the trouble bubble. Bjergsen trying to make that AoE happen, does not find it, so he misses out on the sleep bonus damage.
Yep, got to go with the footwork there. Uzi walks behind the minion.
Instant get popped!
And he takes the drink. Easy victory there.
Yep.
Calm Uzi. He knows that it's a best of 3 though. Can't get too excited.
Getting a little big for his britches, jumping in like that, straight up in Uzi's face, had very little HP remaining, and Uzi punishes.
Yeah, Uzi, he played the grind game. I was just about to talk about how he walked behind the minions, so even though he got hit by the Sleepy Trouble bubble, they were blocked by the minions, and then Bjergsen found himself very far up, and Uzi easily able to take him out, rends him down, and takes first blood here on the Howling Abyss.
See Uzi there with that clap. He knows he did good. Only got to do it one more time, and that trophy is his. He gets his back-to-back goal.
Good.
Yup, the man did what he needed to do. It was looking a little sketchy there for a while because he was going down in farm. Bjergsen had controlled the waves better overall up until that point. Doesn't matter how good you control the waves if you jump into them and Kalista spears you.
He's got his resolve tree, gets a bunch of lifesteal, grinds it up, and he's finally able to close out. Now let's see. What is Bjergsen going to go to in his time of need? Because this is just a best of 3. He can't lose another one. He's going to have to go to one of those flavor picks or cheese picks or whatever you want to call them that we were hyping up. Everyone keeps saying, oh, Mike Young's been practicing with him. He's got cheese picks.
Oh, my God.
Everybody's
going to be.
What is it going to be, Captain Flowers? What's your cheese pick?
Oh, my cheese pick is in Zhao because I'm going to play 2 champions. So I'd probably play that if I was in this, but that's why I'm not in this, Kobe, because these guys have a little bit more up their sleeves than I do. My sleeves are a little bit constricted.
Uh-oh, more chapstick.
More
That's
chapstick.
the answer.
That's the cheese right there. You got to get the chapstick, make sure the lips are comfortable. Then you can start thinking about what you're going to do in the game. Out of the game, that's what comes first.
It's really about the second layer of protection there. The first layer just kind of softens it up, but now he's ready.
Now he's ready to go. But you know what I want to see in this second game is whether or not Bjerg takes the same approach to it that we kind of saw Uzi and Prey take to their third game yesterday, which is where they took the same champs that they had played earlier, and they had both lost once on each. So you're saying it's not the champ, I messed it up. It was my fault, it's not the matchup. Does Bjergsen see it that way? Is he comfortable playing the same matchup again, thinking he just misperformed it? Or is he thinking, okay, Zoe into Kalista doesn't do as good as I thought it was going to do. Let's
Too bad, Captain Flowers. We will never get to the center of that Tootsie Pop. We will never know the answer because Uzi has banned it out.
Well, Froskuren, you were right. She said he was going to play against it one time and then ban it away, and Uzi will ban it away in the second game. But
you're giving free credit there. She said he was going to lose to it.
Froskuren, you were wrong. I rescind my previous comment. But now, the Syndra is open. That's the thing. You ban away these 3 champions last time that you respected from Bjergsen's pool. You had to remove one of them. He decided Syndra was the one he was most comfortable with. That is available for Bjergsen now, while Bjergsen's bans will remain the same between games 1 and 2. The Kalista, he says, is not as much of a problem as any of these 3 would be, and it looks like Bjergsen is going to break out what he used to beat Faker.
Oh, baby.
In the same matchup he used to beat Faker.
Who's the better Syndra? Uzi or Faker then?
Is Uzi... So wait, if Uzi wins this one, do we say that Uzi is the better Syndra than Faker?
We probably say Uzi is the best player in the entire world of all time since the beginning. No, we'll have to...
we'll have to...
He'll have the 1v back a little bit.
He'll have the 1v1 trophy. He will have won the matchup that Faker lost. At that point, you're not exaggerating too much, are you, Kobe?
You're building a very convincing case, my friend.
Well, let's see how convincing of a case these guys can build for themselves, because I want to see the all-in. I want to see the blood for this one. We got to see the champion kill to end that last game. We haven't actually got to see any of these 1v1s in through turret kill at all throughout the course of this whole All-Star 1v1 event this year, which I think is cool because turret kills aren't champion kills, and that's why I want to see them all in. So hopefully we get to see this one go down with an epic 1 versus 1 fight.
I think if we do get to that point, it's probably going to be an advantage to Uzi, because Uzi's the one with the level 6 ultimate that is designed for solo kills, whereas Talia, not a very useful ultimate here for the Howling Abyss.
Not a very useful ultimate, but let's not forget, last time around, Uzi didn't even have an ultimate. Uzi didn't have a W. Uzi had 2 skills and managed to find his win, so let's see what he can do here in this one. Taking a look at the summoner spells, you got 4 unique ones between the 2 champions. Barrier Exhaust, that common takeover for Bjergsen. Uzi swapping it up, going to that Silsol special we talked about yesterday. Ignite and Heal on this Syndra. Some extra burst power, some extra survivability, and movement power to maybe step out of the way of something coming from the Talia if he ends up getting himself in a rough spot. I like it.
Nice reference, by the way. Some throwback NA.
I've been playing it for a long time, too. I've been playing since 2009. I wasn't good in 2009 like you guys were, but I've been playing since then.
I see you, Captain Flowers. All right, well, as far as the runes go, we can update you once again. Uzi, he's sticking to his Mirror Shell and Second Wind Resolve combo, whereas Bjergsen goes for the Futures Market as well as the Biscuit Delivery, and he's all about heavily drinking in the 1 versus 1 matchup.
Gotta keep chugging those potions and going back to base. We know how Bjergsen likes to play this one. He wants to shove out, pressure Uzi, keep him under the turret, make him have to respond to the minions. and win through that sort of pressure. That's how he managed to beat Faker.
And remember, a little bit different turret damage to minions on this map, as we've seen over and over. A lot of the guys have gotten used to it by now, but if the ranged minions take much damage at all, then they just get one-shot by the turrets. So you don't want to prep those yourself, just wait for the turret shot, and then you can finish it off, whereas the melee minions on Howling Abyss are very similar to ranged minions from Summoner's Rift.
You can see Uzi trying to adapt to that right now, but that turret damage you were talking about can make it very, very difficult. At that point, what do you even do as the Syndra? The minion is at half HP.
You pick it up, and you throw it in his face.
Well, what happens if you don't know to pick up the minion ability, Kobe? He doesn't have it learned yet. He's got his soccer ball kick.
Then too bad.
Well, too bad. All right, too bad. So sad. Sayonara, you missed out on this one. Bjergsen going back to base. Uzi slightly off the mark for interrupting it. 15 CS to 8. This is exactly the game Bjergsen wants to play. It's slow and it's steady, but it wins the race.
Pick that sucker up.
There we go. Oh, he's level 3 now. Now he has the ability to pick it up.
This is going to be interesting because Uzi only has one Doran's ring at the moment because he didn't have to go back. And Bjergsen, with that early recall, has given kind of wave pushover back to Uzi. However, the extra ability power here from his second ring might be the difference. And if you're talking about looking towards all-ins and 1v1s, the Talia would theoretically want to get that done before level 6 if he really thought it was going to come down to it.
Unfortunate skill shot placement there for Uzi, just slightly off on both of them. Bjergsen stepping back to grab his health pack. Will continue pushing up into this wave. Got a lot of work ground down, though.
Does have a lot of work ground down, gives him the extra speed, though it does reduce the amount of shots that are going to come out. He has a very healthy CS lead, though, so
yeah,
it's either go super long, for the CS lead and just kind of work around the Syndra ultimate, maybe build some defenses later on. Biscuit Delivery has arrived here for number 1, so that will help as well for the sustain and for kind of grinding out that CS lead that he's been able to accrue.
And Biscuit Delivery, I mean, it's not a mastery, or a rune, excuse me, that you see a lot of the time on Summoner's Rift, so I think a lot of times people forget that not only does it function as a potion, it also gives you extra mana whenever you eat them. So that's going to help him as he continues to play this out and continues trying to play this shove game.
One of the most important things is, of course, dodging in the skill shot matchups here. And as we've seen, some pretty good dodges there from Bjergsen, avoiding a lot of the damage at the moment, but it doesn't really cost Uzi that much. As you can see, very high on mana.
Ooh, nice placement there from Bjergsen, but Uzi responding with some well-placed abilities of his own. Bjergsen needs to be very mindful of this if Uzi ticks level 6.
And remember, Uzi is also running the Ignite. So that will stick on him even after the barrier is going to time out if they're trying to look for that burst.
Bjergsen respecting what Uzi can do here. Uzi 3/4 of the way to level 6. Bjergsen now finding his own ultimate ready to go. But like you mentioned earlier, Toby, it doesn't do anything. You can throw the wall at him when he's backing and sort of delay him a few seconds, but outside of that, you won't get much use out of it.
Yeah, he could try and go for a back himself and then ult back to the lane maybe and use the extra item power as a little bit of a advantage, but Uzi's doing his best to clear out the minions right now, and we'll see if Bjergsen does. He actually did skill it, so probably going to use it back to lane.
He skills it, and he also picks up a completed Mercury Treads. He wants to make sure he not only has the movement speed to step out of the way of the skill shots from Uzi's Syndra, but he wants to make sure that if he does get hit by the stun, it's going to be lessened, and whatever he gets hit by, the extra magic resist will make it so maybe he doesn't get 100 to 0'd, and he can continue to survive and play this farm game that he's still up.
So instead of using it to get back to lane quicker, he's decided to cut off the minions. This builds up a double stacked wave here. You can see there's a ton of extra rain minions. So he's ensuring that they kill off more of his minions and push towards him. Now, that's a good strategy in getting a bigger CS lead if he can still get a lot of these last hits under his turret.
Right, and it also works because he's already ahead. He doesn't have to worry about little losses like that, but now Uzi's got him in a spot he might have to worry about again. Uzi not quite finding the scatter the weak he's looking for there. Bjergsen sitting with a 12 CS lead over his opponent, but he's still only slightly over halfway to the goal, so quite a long way to go. And considering Uzi now has that level 6 potential, that all-in threat, Bjergsen will have to play this very, very carefully. It was his own audacity that bit him last time, and he can't fall into that same trap.
Yeah, and you can see Uzi's really fishing for it. By chugging a health potion this late, making sure he's 100% health, you can see he wants to go for an all-in. He wants to get a little risky,
Seismic shove will find its mark onto Uzi. Uzi's retaliation will connect. The shove continues. Threaded volley is there. Red team has lost half its minions, but the thing is, blue team's lost about 2/3 of theirs.
Yeah, and Bjergsen has a giant, very comfortable CS lead that he's working with. So if he can grind it out and finish this one off before Uzi gets a chance to all in.
Uzi's looking for it, though. Slightly concerning in terms of mana right now. He doesn't have enough to continue just running after Bjergsen, firing off a spell Gatling, but Bjergsen's feeling comfortable enough. On that worked ground, he's got the extra movement speed that you talked about when we mentioned earlier. Yeah, you throw less rocks, but you get hit by less orbs. It's a decent trade-off.
And it's a huge, huge benefit to the style that he's playing. If you're playing for the CS,
Uzi's looking to make it happen. There comes your exhaust onto the Syndra ulti. That's exactly the timing Bjergsen was looking for.
So one summoner down for each of them. At this point, Uzi doesn't have the extra move speed from the heal now to help him in the all-in. You know, maybe want to close some distance or something. But Bjergsen now without the exhaust for the Syndra ultimate, that could be critical if Uzi decides to actually go for it.
At the same time, though, we got to keep our eyes on that CS timer, because I was talking earlier, I was saying, look, it's barely over half. Well, it's starting to climb up there now. Bjergsen has a massive amount of minions to farm up right here, right now. He just hit 75. There's 4 more waves to go, and he's done.
Actually, that's a good point. 80 seconds left on the ultimate from Uzi, so there's not going to be time for it. And Bjergsen, it looks like he has really done his homework this time around. He's set up very nicely to try and take a CS victory and push it to a deciding 3rd game.
3rd and final match we could be looking at here. Bjergsen will continue to find those minions, 84-74. And what you always end up seeing in these games, you can try to play the farm game, you can try to deal with Bjergsen here, take your time, but eventually you hit the point where he's at 90 farm, 95 farm. You just can't wait anymore. And if you're Uzi, your only option left is run at it.
And remember, Bjergsen can use his ultimate once again to either double stack the wave or get back there. Since he's just walking, looks like he's going to use it once again to try and get the minions in his advantage. Continually backing here when the extra cannon minion for Uzi's side is going to help them push. So Uzi stays behind in CS, and he knows time is working against him.
85-87 now. Uzi wants to control the health pack away from Bjergsen. Will do so.
15 seconds left on Uzi's ultimate, though. Syndra's ultimate will come back in time, just barely here, for another attempt at an all-in, and he has to go for it.
He's got such a small window to work with. 94 is the count for Bjergsen. 1 minion wave should he find them all.
1 second on his ultimate, and now it's available.
All right, Bjergsen knows Uzi's got kill threat. Let's see what Uzi can do with this. We're going to make the all-in happen. Starts off with the ulti, able to find Scatter the Weak, but it does not look like this is going to work. 1 melee minion died. Bjergsen still has 6 creeps alive, though. If he can kill all 6 of these, he will win the game right here. He misses out on the cannon. He misses out on range number 2. He misses out on range number 3, and range number 4 is going to elude him as well. He's still got 3 more to clear, but Uzi is so low on mana. 1 for Bjergsen. 2 more.
This is so
Uzi.
intense. Look at the player care.
Throw that minion at him, boy! Go! Bjergsen, CS victory to take us to game number 3.
Okay, so we've had the payoff now. Once again, the CS focus to Leah. He already used it in this tournament. He was able to get Uzi with it, and Uzi kind of brushed that one off. They know that the next one will decide it all. All right, take another look here. Bjergsen is walking on the work ground, getting those dodges in, moves right up to the minion wave, knows he only needs 1 more, and is able to secure it.
Slow and steady for Bjergsen. He makes it happen. He survives the all-ins. He exhausts the first ulti. And Uzi seemed like he almost panic engaged at the last second. He was like, nope, dude's going to kill the minions. Got to ult him now. Ults him immediately. Scatter the Weak wasn't that effective.
That's the feeling that you get when someone plays this type of game against you, right? He's been able to control the minions for so long that you can see the loss coming at you. You see it coming a full minute ahead. Oh no, only a couple more minion waves, and then my ult is up. I have to kill him now. That amount of pressure is going to make you, succumb to something like this.
Like, it's a long way away. At 50 minions, you're thinking, okay, I got time. Don't worry about it. I have a chance to all in soon. It'll be great. At 75 minions, you're thinking, all right, we still got a few more waves. There's time to think about it. At 90 minions...
Is that gif of the guy permanently sweating?
Yeah, the guy's just permanently sweating. You just say, okay, go. Hit the button. Go in there as fast as you can, because that's your only choice. It didn't work out for Uzi in game number 2, and now these guys have one last showdown.
Who will be the only player to ever get 2 victories, be 2 1-versus-1 championships, and have that to their names? Uzi wants it back-to-back.
Uzi really wants it back-to-back because that's a really cool thing to do. I mean, for Bjergsen, taking the belt back is awesome. But then to get a chance at having it back-to-back, he's got to win this year and next year.
Yeah.
Uzi's already there. He's halfway to it. And he just has to win one more game here. But maybe this is when we see that thing he was talking about, that secret Bjergsen cheese pick that he was worried of.
I guess, but I would have thought he would have pulled it out last time when it was game point, you know? But he had confidence in the Taliyah minion focus strategy.
He knew he beat Faker with it. He said he can beat Uzi with it. We were talking about if Uzi does this, is he better than Faker? We haven't found anybody better than Faker yet, Kobe. It's pretty hard to do.
We're still searching. Anybody out there have an application?
Sign up now.
You can
We
send
want
it
you.
to us. Email captainflowers@yahoo.com. That's not it.
That's not it at all, but we're not going to give him
You
a
probably
email address.
you probably still use some AIM or AOL or something like that.
All right, my email address aside, let's see what Bjergsen and Uzi are going to summon up for this third and final game in this 1-versus-1 finale. Bans the same for Bjergsen so far. Uzi copying what he did in game number 2, still respecting the Zoe from game number 1. Now, Bjerg, what's it going to be?
Is he going to ban the? Okay.
Yep, bans embarrassing.
We don't have to wait too long to get these questions answered here. They have been very similar.
All right, Syndra banned out. The Rise is open now. He had previously been banning Rise out. Rise is now available for Bjergsen to pick. Bjergsen can also pick Taliyah, go for the same strategy he went for last time, but ooh. We get to see the Rise? Yes, we do. Now let's see how Uzi wants to deal with that. Is it going to be Kalista again? He had a good showing on it in game number 1. He had it banned against him in his semifinal against Prey. I'm a predictor, man. I did it.
God,
Put me on the analyst desk.
Captain Flowers from the future here.
Yeah. No, don't put me on the analyst desk. I probably just talked about Skarner. Let's not do that. But in this game, Exhaust, Barrier versus Ignite. Uzi might change him at the last second again. We don't know, but Rise does not have the ability to steal the summoner spell away. So if Uzi wants to go full offense all the way in with those summoners, could totally work here.
He can. It's just so difficult against Rise. There's a reason why so many of the mid laners just love this champion so much, even though a lot of the teams weren't able to find victories, and notoriously, Rise did not have a very good win rate at Worlds. However, in the 1-versus-1, this is where he's going to shine, right? He has the Rune Prison. He can just lock down the Kalista, remove one of her greatest strengths with the mobility, and then Rise, once he can proc the passive as well, you get your own mobility as well as an extra shield. So this seems like a pretty good matchup here for the Rise side, but Uzi was already able to take down Bjergsen with the Kalista in game number 1 and able to grind it out till he got a bunch of lifesteal and just control around that mid lane.
I want to see if Bjergsen ends up using the Rise ultimate to make this happen, because Bjergsen has been part of some of the most iconic Rise ultimate moments in the North American LCS, and I want to see if he can add another notch to his belt with the All-Stars.
Would you rather have him pull something crazy with Rise ulting minions and having some weird like double minion wave strategy, pushing in and getting a turret kill or something like that, or would you rather have him go for a kill like we saw with the Tom Kench earlier?
I want that one.
Yeah,
that one has champions killing champions. The first one only has champions killing minions.
That was actually my favorite 1v1 of the entire tournament. The phase rush Tom Kench running halfway across the lane back after he had gotten his ultimate off to get the munch down. Here we go, though. Let's take a look if Uzi's going to be able to control the wave early. He's got the presence in the brush already established.
Yep, he's controlling the side areas. He's got his Howling Abyss strategies on lock, but now we'll have to see if he can manage to defend his title, secure his crown for the second year in a row, or if Bjergsen will manage to snatch it back at the last moment. Bjergsen just hanging out right now. Not wanting to go fight the Kalista mano a mano at level 1. Rise doesn't have multiple spells to work with at this point. Only has the Overload right now, so not really going to worry about it. Just wants to hang back, not risk the health bar early.
Remember that Uzi runs press the attack here on the Kalista, so you have to really respect the chase down.
Yep.
Once he stacks it up, gets that 3 proc, makes you exposed to extra damage. Well, I guess it doesn't even have to stack it up there. It gets some Nice harassment onto Bjergsen, who was just walking too close.
Just a freebie there. Bjergsen will try to farm up as good as he can. He is down in levels right now, so he doesn't want anything to do with going up towards Uzi for a fight. Uzi also having that ignite. Worth noting that he did not change summoner spells at the end this time like we saw in game number 1. So full offense here on the summoner spells. Bjergsen with exhaust and barrier, he'll be having a little bit more defensive capability for himself. Let's see how well he does farming up underneath this turret. It's going to be a bit difficult, I think.
Yeah, let's see. So none of the rain minions right now would die to one shot except this one on the very top. Cannon minion goes without him collecting any gold. So do the melee minions. But he's in there!
No, a turret shot onto Uzi.
Have to worry about the rend.
Very unlucky there. Bjergsen backing himself up. He actually gets the better of that trade thanks to the turret. He has an extra potion as well. Remember, starting off Dorian's Ring versus Dorian's Blade, you have one extra pot.
Yeah, and Uzi with a dominating CS lead here, absolutely crushing it. So Bjergsen already in the position where he's going to have to look for a spot in the game to try and get the 1v1 kill. Because Uzi, once again, on the AD carry, he's getting the minion wave control. He has a bunch of life steal.
The tables have turned this time, Kobe. Exhaust comes down. Uzi looking to continue this fight. Nope. Just ran.
That's that disengage I was talking about. The Rise can pull off. When you rune prison, you proc your passive, you get your own shield and a little bit of speed to walk away. Actually baits out a summoner spell advantage here. So Bjergsen may want to reset and then look for the all-in, or sustain off of the biscuit that has been delivered to him.
Well, he's definitely not playing for the farm victory. 14 to 34. It's just, I mean, we're only 3 minutes into the game, but it's practically a non-viable win condition at this point, unless he can just start zoning Uzi completely away from participating in the game. Low enough HP, he'll have to get back, so let's see what he does come back with. See if he does decide to go for some sort of an all-in. Uzi taking his health back is going to make things worse.
Yeah, there's so much of an advantage to controlling the early waves. Not only can the enemy not fight you in the minions because they'll take extra minion damage, but you get access to these rooms that are going to give you all your mana and health back. So Uzi is able to get off his recall, buys... Never mind, changes his...
Ooh, okay, dagger. Hanging out, waiting for money, waiting for some more money. Okay, long.
Uzi's got plenty of money, dude.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Ready to go. Pointing the spear straight towards Bjergsen. This one's for you.
He's calling his shot on his way back down. He sees the back-to-back championship in his sights right now. 42 CS to his name. And level 6 acquired.
Level 6 acquired, which means 3rd point in Rin.
Yes. That really important power spike.
3-0-3-0. The skill allocation if you're playing Kalista on a 1 versus 1. Not much use in allocating your Ghost or your ulti, considering you don't have a buddy to use them with. So Bjergsen coming back now. 2nd Dorian's Ring, Ruby Crystal, Fairy Charm. What's City wants to do here? Likely going for that all-in against Uzi.
Prepping him with a little, prepping him with a little poke. Uzi does have plenty of life steal, as we mentioned, now with an extra Dorian's blade worth of it. And once again, focus on the minions. Get them pushing in his side.
Once again, focus on the minions. Also, damage coming down onto Uzi here as I take a look at the inventories and see a very similar situation to what we saw in the past with potions. 1 for Uzi, 4 for Bjergsen. So Bjergsen's fine taking some more of these trades. Even if he loses out on them initially, he will heal up. He will be in a better spot at the end of the day, but not if he keeps eating those pierces. Root down. Ooh.
That minion blocked a lot.
Yeah, that minion, that's a hero minion right there. Uzi needs to make sure he's giving that minion a pat on the back at the end of this one.
You can't prep them at all right there.
Nope.
That's what we talked about. The minions, if they've taken any damage like that, are just going to get one shot by the turret. So, once again, going to have a lot of room to work with here for Uzi. Life stealing off the minion wave, and Bjergsen is moving in!
Almost has his summoner spell back up now as well. Bjergsen going to be taken low. Goes for the exhaust. Shield also proc. Looking to maybe find some more. Taking Uzi very, very low. Pierce blocked by the cannon minion. Bjergsen looking for a little more damage. Not quite able to find it.
Okay, this is the last health potion for Bjergsen to drink. Uzi's on a little bit low mana, but he should have enough for another rend onto Bjergsen if they get into a skirmish.
Barrier up for Bjergsen. Exhaust nearly back up for Uzi. Bjergsen wanted to go for something here. Able to find the root. Looking for the overpower. Not quite connecting. Likely would have gotten the kill from that.
Incredibly close right there. But that is going to be a reset from Uzi. Goes back to purchase, and Bjergsen doesn't have many options except looking for a minion swapperoo here.
Throw him under the turret.
Is that the ult
Get him
you're
in
looking
there.
for?
If you're no, that's not quite it, but at least he found some way to use it. If you're trying to shove the wave up, why not just teleport the wave under the turret?
I mean, you get a couple extra seconds there, right? Because he moved the minions around, so the turret started killing them quicker before Uzi was quite back. It's a small thing, but definitely there.
I like the Hex Drinker pickup from Uzi here. It's going to give him a lot of extra health against Bjergsen's burst. He knows that he wins this game automatically if it goes to farm. 78 to 53, not even close. Bjergsen has to go for an all-in very soon. And as long as Uzi has the Hex Drinker, it's very difficult for Bjerg to do that properly. Uzi going back for one last shop now, picking up plenty of potions to make sure Bjergsen doesn't manage to out-sustain him.
Uzi's got all the luxuries now. Picking up his fur coat so he can have a nice, easy victory here. Because Bjergsen, he's starting to sweat. As you said, the CS numbers not looking too pretty for him.
Yeah, Bjergsen trying his hardest to keep Uzi away from this wave. He doesn't want to have any of his spells blocked up by these damn minions again. He just wants to get in Uzi's face and apply that signature rise damage. Don't know if he'll be able to do it, though. Time is running out. 80 CS for the LPL representative. North America's...
Bjergsen's got to be careful here.
Ooh. Okay, Bjergsen going a little bit underneath the turret there. I was going to say North America's favorite only at 71, so still down 10 CS compared to his opponent, and it's going to be even more.
Yeah.
Even the announcer agrees. Blue team is nearly out of minions. Bjergsen is nearly out of time. It's time to go. Do or die.
He's just got to force him into skirmishes here, and hopefully for him, Uzi would take the fight and not focus on any sort of CS.
Bjergsen wants to look for even more, but he's not able to find the damage. And remember, you still got a Hex Drinker to burst through. Uzi's at 90. Bjergsen at 75. Continuing to try to apply the pressure, but Bjergsen's going to be taken low. It's still such a difficult fight for Bjerg to even attempt to go for. Going to get his shield on that one, continuing to farm it up. 82 for Bjerg, 93 for Uzi. We're at the point now where Bjergsen is likely going to be taken down underneath the turret. Ladies and gentlemen, you're back-to-back 1 versus 1 champion, Uzi.
What a magnificent laner. He's got his fan crowd here and everything.
The crowd says it all. The smile on his face says even more. The man came here to win from day number 1, and he deserves his victory here on the final day of All-Star 2017. What a show.
Now he's going to have another trophy to sit next to last year's, and he's going to be looking forward to the 3rd next year. I'm pretty sure that he'll always get voted in as long as he's playing.
As long as he keeps winning like this.
There's another look, though. He even corners Bjergsen inside the 3 ranged minions. There you go. Bless up. Uzi's able to get the victory once again.
So many LPL fans here in the audience today, ecstatic that Uzi can walk away with the win in this one. We are going to get to see him and his team going into the 5 versus 5 final following this as well. So Uzi could walk away today, Kobe, with a double victory.
Everything seems to be going his way. I mean, the crowd is cheering for him. It feels like it is hometown for him. Yeah. They brought the hometown with them, and he's able to get the first victory. Now, we'll see if this is going to affect the 5-on-5 match as well, because now he's filled with confidence.
Oh,
Notoriously, Uzi, on Summoner's Rift in 5-on-5s, hasn't been able to win a lot of the trophies. However, this could be what changes it all.
This could be what he needs, man. This could be that spark. This could be the lightning that ignites Uzi and gets him going. But to hear more about that 10th series, let's send it down to Shox and the 1v1 champ.
Yes, for sure. And Uzi is here in front of a lot of people in the audience. How does it feel to be crowned the 1v1 champion once again, Uzi?
再一次获得solo 赛冠军，你有什么现在有什么感受？
真的非常的开心，就自己其实真的是没有想过可以再拿到这个比赛的冠军。
I'm just feeling really happy right now. I never imagined I can win this one more time.
Well, it looked like a very tough matchup. Bjergsen is obviously a good opponent. Tell me about that last matchup. Why did you choose to go for the Kalista, and how difficult was that last matchup for you?
那比尔森肯定是个很厉害的对手。想请你问一下，你最后一盘比赛为什么再次选择卡丽斯塔，然后怎么样赢的？
因为我自己是比较喜欢玩 AD 英雄的，然后再加上ban的比较多嘛，然后版本的关系，也就这个英雄可以在前期可以去和 AP 英雄打一下嘛，然后就是其实我也没有试过，就是尝试一下，就其实也是没有办法的。对。
So he's a AD. So is he? So I'm a AD carry main, and I play a lot of AD champion. So in the current meta, there are 4 good AD carries, and Kalista is the only one remaining. The rest are all banned. So Kalista is really good early game, and I try to play it out to see how it goes.
Well, logically, you did fantastic. And I do have to ask you, yesterday you told me I wasn't sure what Zoe did, but I still beat her. And then today, you left Zoe open again and then beat Bjergsen with it. Did you have some specific practice before going into this one? Did you find out what Zoe does?
就你昨天打 Zoe 的时候，你有说你不是特别了解 Zoe 的技能，那今天你又放出来了 Zoe，想问一下你是找到了克制 Zoe 的办法，你才放出来的吗？
就其实这个英雄就是我是真的不是特别了解到底打谁好打，然后第一盘是试了放了一下，结果我发现好像我不可以赢他，然后就选择后面2场办掉了。
So he's still not sure how Zoe works. He doesn't know which champion is bad or good against Zoe. But for the first game, he just tried out and he figured that he can't beat Zoe, so he banned in the following matches.
All right. Well, you did it here, but this is only half of the work today. You're now the champion in 1v1 once again. That's also for the LPL. And now you're going up against the LMS squad for that 5v5 trophy. So has this victory given you enough confidence to make sure that you can win that next 5v5 as well?
就你现在其实今天工作还没有结束，你现在只赢了前半段，拿了单挑赛冠军。那么接下来你要打5对5了，那想问你有没有信心赢得？会不会这个比赛的冠军给你信心赢得接下来的比赛？
非常有信心了。然后就是因为已经拿到了第1个了，就是第2个也必须拿下。
So I'm really confident at the moment. I already won the first one, and I have to win the second one.
All right, fantastic. One more time for your 1v1 champion and all-star, Uzi! Fantastic stuff here and wonderful victory from Uzi. Back over to you guys at the analyst desk.
Thank you, Shocks. Uzi crowned yet again our 1v1 champion, 2-1 victory over Bjergsen. And as we talk about these back-to-back victories for Uzi, I want to take a stroll down short-term memory lane, roll back through these 3 1v1s as they played out. The first one looked rather close. Zale, I know you have some criticisms for Bjergsen and the way it ultimately played out because he looked positioned for the victory.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought the advantage that he had in the first game, he should not have lost it, right? Like, he was up 15 CS or more. He still had both his summoners available. He actually had 4 health potions available at this point as well. He just underestimated the damage coming in from Uzi, but, like, at this point, you don't even need to play to trade as Bjergsen because you have such a big CS advantage. If he just farmed it out, that first one is basically a free win.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's also a couple of issues where, you know, making this back right here when Uzi takes on the Syndra, he does make the CS lead, but, you know, not idolizing to the MR, looking for the AP instead when all he needed to do was play for that CS victory to win the game.
And the third game, ironically, was the CS victory on the other front. Because he actually opted into the Rise with Tilia available, he was looking for a bit more battling. Such a big CS lead, Bjergsen had to try something. It wasn't going to work, and Uzi back-to-back champion.
Yeah, Uzi played incredibly well. I think like there's not really much to criticize on his side. I think that Kalista, especially the way he's actually threading the spears through to continually get Rens, to harass Bjergsen down, to maintain the push, like he played it very well and back-to-back 1v1 in a mode that I think a lot of people, especially with blind pick, would consider to be somewhat random is super impressive.
That's the thing I was going to say, right? There's only so many variables in that 1v1 that Uzi can control, right? He doesn't get to choose outside of the bans what champion ultimately Bjergsen's going to play and only gets to choose his without having that knowledge. So playing within the matchups that were presented to him quite well to get the 2-1 victory and remain our back-to-back 1v1 champion. I think it's pretty interesting, though, because as Shocks mentioned, this is only the halfway point of the day here for Uzi, as he has to go up against the LMS now and try and get another title, take another trophy home here at the end of 2017.
I mean, effectively, he's all warmed up. He's ready to go. He had his warm-up game.
He doesn't need any practice
1v1.
games like the rest of them.
Exactly.
And he's the best 1v1 player, so if he
Best
loses,
clicker.
it's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
the rest of the
It
team's
must be
fault.
the other
Exactly.
4. All right, well, turning to the finals on Summoner's Rift, we've got LMS taking on the LPL. And in this matchup, who do you think is going to come out on top? So prediction segment one more time.
Okay, so surprise, surprise, I'm going to vote for the LPL here. Now, the thing is you go through the LMS games, BB and Sorter have been a big reason why they've won. They've won by themselves, though, so Karsa's not giving them any attention. They actually have just been playing that well.
Right.
That said, now they're looking across from Mako, Uzi, and MLXG. He loves to give attention there, which means Karsa should have to change up his style and answer that.
Guys, it's the finals desk, and I can't vote for Korea, so it's always a bit weird. I'm already unsure.
So we skip you, right?
I mean, if that's how you want to do it. But no, at the end of the day, I'm going to pay it forward. LPL beat the LCK yesterday, and the thing about this team
By
here,
transitive property.
exactly,
They are now
that's
the new
one
Korea.
thing, and I
There
could
it
stop
is.
my sentence there. But what I'm also seeing is I'm using words like macro and win conditions at All Star to describe LPL. They had a better understanding. They clearly have got the fruits of all their labor when it comes to all the practicing. So I really do think it's going to be LPL, and I'm going to say about a 3-1.
I mean, they had a water bottle boot camp, man.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so
true.
they're set up for success. 2-week water bottle boot camp. Isaiah, what do you think?
Exactly. I mean, they put in the practice. It's been showing
Bought
very
the water
well.
bottles.
Yeah, bought the water bottles. I'm also in the LPL camp, and you guys have kind of covered the reasoning there. I will say, if LMS wins, I do think it looks like Sword Art and Karsa playing incredibly well together. If you can control vision, if you can have that advantage there and allow Karsa to get on an aggressive jungler to take over the game, that's to me what a series win looks like for them.
Ever the analyst giving me both sides of the coin there. Isaiah, we'll see which dream team will prevail after a quick break. LMS versus LPL kicks off when we return.